Mike. Okay, there we go. Good afternoon. Happy Easter. Shaggy SoCal Tool for Forza. And this will be the final set of track guides for the season in the Cadillac V-Series.R. First up is going to be VIR. And so, like any other track guides, if you've watched them, I'm going to run a couple of laps just to kind of refamiliarize myself a little bit. I'm doing an extra challenge, and we'll see if you can pick up on it here in a second. That'll do kind of the slow, track walk, where I'll kind of like stop at different corners, just kind of point out the things I'm seeing, what I'm trying to do with the car, what I think the car likes, again, at least for the setup that I'm running. And then, because I need to practice, I'm going to do a mock race, because again, it's not always going to be noon with partly cloudy when we race. So it's always good to kind of get out there in conditions. So with that, let me just go ahead and let's start the race. Now, for these test laps, I want to enjoy grippier tires, so I'll be at 50%, 50% fuel on mediums. Roller coaster down to third gear, second gear if you need it. Up short shift to fourth. Oh, don't go off track. Clip the curbing here in the hog pen. Manage the understeer, at least with the setup I'm running, manage the understeer out of hog pen on the front straight. And don't miss shifts. Alright, so heading down towards the horseshoe here, look at the first Michelin shine. I'm going to do it like Sean Connery now. I'm breaking up the first Michelin sign there. Turn up the WeatherTech sign, brake at the apex, out. I don't go all the way out for NASCAR bend because, again, you drop tires. This is a very unforgiving track if you drop tires off on the outside. Short shift to fourth, into the snake. And now we head towards the climbing S's. I like setting up on the right side and starting my turn right at the beginning of that section there. Oh, the grip is nice. So yeah, you can do it flat out. I can almost do it flat on the hard compounds, but I do a confidence lift like right at the top of the hill. The oak tree on the back stretch. I tend to like to run it, I get it about the mid-track here at the dip. And then I just kind of run the center of the track up the hill, and then I start bringing it to the right as I crest. Brake there, two-phase braking, brake a little bit, back on the gas a little bit. Ooh, that's a little too much curbing. Down to third. Bit late, but I kind of want to stay. I want to try and take that right hander a little bit later and not crash the curbing there. I find when you crash the curbing, the inside curbing at top end tends to launch you out to the outside. Right to the curbing, car out. Whoa. A little more curbing though than I wanted. Oh, the mediums are so nice. Alright, final time down the back straight until we do the track walk. All right, so for now, if you haven't noticed by now, I've turned off the braking line. It's kind of my experiment for this last two rounds at VIR and then the Glen. It's like I know the tracks well enough that I'd like to actually try to run the race without the braking line. It'll my gut feeling is as far as bounce performance relative to the rest of the field, it'll probably slow me up a bit, especially in the beginning until I find my bearings. But then probably towards the end of the race, kind of once I get in a rhythm, and especially if I find myself in what I would call no man's land, where I'm not really close to anybody in front of me and I got nobody chasing me down, where I can start clocking laps off. So it'll slow me up a little bit, but I think for some of the races, it's nice being able to see that braking line at night. But sometimes I think it also, because it's bright enough, it sometimes blocks visibility to other things that are more helpful as far as references. But speaking of references, coming down the front straight, I'm in seventh gear. I am trying to spot. It is easier for my eyes to spot the Michelin boards first than the actual number, than the number braking boards. So what I'm looking for, your first braking board is 5 here, but what I'm looking for is the first Michelin, which is just about where the 4 is. So that's about, at least for me right now, that's about where I'm braking. As that first board, as the 4 board goes by, that's what I'm braking for turn 1. Because I also don't have because I also don't have the reference line on. What I'm noticing is I'm tending, as I'm braking, it's my braking zone tends to angle a bit towards the apex there, or towards the entry of turn 1. So it's like I don't know that I'll have the confidence to be inch perfect on the left side to do the braking. It's probably going to be more braking like at this angle, but or I'll be a little bit off the edge again. Since the braking line again, I've lost that reference, so I'm kind of having to relearn where to position the car. So I'm probably going to give myself a little bit more room than I normally would, since I don't have anything that's going to help keep me on track. But anyhow, so braking down for me. I think this is a third gear corner. If I get the braking right, I'm going to turn in and immediately just go for the inside curbing here. Now, if you look at the map, the horseshoe it's kind of an increasing radius turn, or it's sharp at the beginning, and then it just kind of widens out a little bit as you progress. So I'll hit the curbing here, and you can the other thing I want to point out, for when they scanned the track, obviously VIR hadn't done the full repave yet, and this was still kind of the pre-repave, but you can see where they've repaved the part of the track where the race cars have been on the most and have probably done the most wear, which is right in the center. So when in doubt, you can use the newer pavement or the newer asphalt to kind of help guide, like, hey, this might be the right line out of the corner. I'll let the car come out about mid-track, start to roll back into the throttle. I personally like to bring the exit back to the right side here. I like being on the right side. It opens up this first little left-hand kink before NASCAR, and my turn-in point, provided it hasn't been, my eyes are going to be looking at the apex, but usually I've been going off the WeatherTech sign there on the outside as kind of like a pseudo turn-in point to get my line in right for this setup for NASCAR. My braking is, I'm going to probably hit the brakes right about here to set up for NASCAR bend. Now I think my line differs. The line I'm used to taking through here is, I think, differs from what Forza recommends. I think Forza recommends a little bit further off this apex, and I think the intent is to try and have you straight to the right side to set up for NASCAR. And again, NASCAR's first of many turns that if you just drop your outside tires off in the grass, you're just going to get sucked off and do a little mowing to come up with a cute term. Anyhow, so again, I'm going to brake here. I'm kind of focused on where the apex there is, and I'm not really looking much past that to say, oh, I'm lining up on the TV tower. At this point, I'm really not. My vision hasn't expanded enough where I can look up to see that. But in the braking, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the car braked and settled before I get to here, before I get to the new pavement. Ideally, this is probably about where I'd want to be. I might cheat a little bit more mid-track, take a little shallower line through here. Again, it's just giving myself wiggle room. Maybe as the race goes on, I get used to it, I'll probably move out a little bit. But for here, it's still fourth gear, maybe, yeah, fourth gear, down, gonna clip the apex here, through NASCAR, out. I'll use a bit of the exit curbing. We can use a lot of this exit curbing. You just want to get it back on track, I think, before it, by the end of this, because I think, let's see, now you can use quite a bit. But usually I want to be back on track by the time the curbing ends. And for me, right where that curbing ends is, as I knock over the little timing pylon, braking for the left hook here. I think ideally, oh, this is a little bit, that curbing's a little bit, oh, there it is. For me, I am using that the end of this, this runoff area as the braking point. So if I use the curbing, come back on, I'm gonna brake right about here to set up. Now, if you notice, even setting up for left hook, if you're kind of straight coming off, the road does kink a little bit to the left as it goes into the left hook. So if you're gonna use that braking point, give yourself a little room on the right side, just so that you don't drop tires. You've got no runoff, and if you drop tires on the right side, you're going to go straight on. So brake down to third gear, release, turn in right about where the new pavement starts. I'm going to use the inside curbing here, a little bit of a roll into the throttle, out. This corner here, the exit of this corner is one of the, I think, like the 2 or 3 most deceptive turns on this track, because you're going to come through here and you're going to try and commit back to throttle, but the problem is you've immediately got the entry, the right-hand entry into the snake. And this is one, if you commit too much to the throttle at this point and you don't have your steering, or you're at a shallow angle, or maybe you've turned in a little early, it is extremely easy to have the car, as you exit, right off the track, because it keeps kind of turning to the right. It's still kind of a gentle turn to the right. So I would say just be mindful how much throttle you're applying coming out of this corner. You might not want to commit back to full throttle. The other thing I tend to do here, if I'm in third or fourth, is I'll short shift up to fourth to set up for the snake. And then that one, just going to turn the car in. I'm going to use the inside curbing here a little bit. I'm going to use the curbing here a bit. Pretty much just crash the curbing. Try to take this as straight as possible. Out onto the short straight before the climbing S's. On hard tires, I can almost do this flat, but I think, excuse me, you get the line right. You get your line right, and you've got your setup. If you're running higher downforce and you're on the softer compounds, you probably can do this flat. It is a bit scary the first couple of times you try to do it, especially on cold tires. But for me, the setup, I tend to like to have the car out on the right side, excuse me, leading into the climbing S's, and my kind of turn-in point is right where we have the uphill turn here for I think that's the north course. Is right where this starts, right where the cones start. That's about where I'm going to just start bringing the car back to the left to kind of take it up through the S's. So I will say at night, this is a little bit treacherous as well, because VIR is not well lit at night. So I'm going to try and bring the car in. You'll have that light on there that kind of helps. What they've tried to do is with the Musco lighting is they've tried to actually eliminate the apexes of each of the going up the S's. So if you can spot that light, you can find your way to the first apex here. You can see the second apex, though, that will be lit, so you'll see that little bit of yellow color for the curbing. So yeah, hopefully when I do the race, we'll run some laps at night. If you do that, then what I'm actually going to try and do is, ideally, I'm going to try and straddle the apex of the curbing. The whole idea is to take these next two as straight as possible, so I'm not doing a lot of excessive steering, and start, and because the last thing I want to do is I don't want to have to start having to deal with a lot of weight shift left and right through here, because if you've got the line right, you're going to be flat out or very close to flat out. Set up here, turn in. I'm usually late with this one. You can hook a little bit on the apex here. It's not going to unsettle the car too much. For me, with the hard tires, not breathing enough. For me, with the hard tires, I'll probably have to do a confidence lift here every now and then as I crest the hill, just to help keep the car at best, help keep the car at about mid-track. I really don't want to go all the way to the right side, or not the right side. I don't want to go all the way to the left side for the right-hand turn, because it makes the braking in that turn much more difficult. So as you get to the crest of the hill, if you can kind of keep it in the middle, ideally you'd want to almost be on the right side if you can. Braking for this next corner is, for me, a lot earlier than I'd expected. I'm actually braking, again, as I've talked about in past track guides, when you crest the hill out of the climbing S's, it dips a little bit before it sets up for this left-hander. So a lot of times in some of the slower cars, I would say, when you kind of hit into the descent into that dip is when you're going to brake. For this Cadillac, I'm actually braking at the crest. So as I crest this hill, I'm doing the quick brake down 2 gears, setting up for this corner. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to miss that apex entirely. And then we've all gone off on here. I don't need to talk about, don't go off on the outside, but you got a little help with the curbing. But setting up the hill here, what I'm looking for, it is the 2 board, but I'm going to back it up. Without the braking line, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to gauge my braking. Oops, can't drive. Or I can't drive in reverse. Haha. So, as I'm coming down the hill, what I'm trying to spot is, we come down the hill, you're bringing the car back to the left, it starts to go uphill. So for me, it's kind of what my eyes are doing is, I look and I can see 5, 4, 3, 2. The timing line's about where it starts to go back up the hill. So it's really where it starts to go back up. It's 2 past that. So it's the 2 board. It's also the one almost closest to visually as I get to it, that kind of lines up with the billboards on the outside. But that's what I'm kind of using. Whoops, first gear. So as I bring it down, I start to go up the hill. As I start to go up the hill, first board, second board, and you can see it kind of is the last board before the billboards start to go out of view. So that's kind of what I'm using there. Again, I'll probably won't be all the way over the left side because I'm not confident yet. Brake down to 3rd gear, turn in. This is the second deceptive corner where you'll hit the apex there. If you get the braking right, you might think, hey, I'm going to goose the throttle a little bit. The problem is if you goose the throttle too much, all of a sudden now the car is way out of position. You're trying to get it slowed back down to turn in for Oak Tree. So, maybe it's just best maybe the first couple laps, just take it nice and easy. Still 3rd gear, I think. And ideally, I want to try and clip the curbing and try and late apex this one as much as possible so I can get on the throttle as early as possible. I think I'm still struggling with that on the hard tires. Not having the braking line as a reference does make you think about your line a little bit more. But you can use a lot of the exit curbing here on the way out. 3rd gear, 4th gear, 5th gear, all the way up to 7th. Again, usually I'll be about mid-track by the time I get to the dip here, and I'll probably just keep it in the center as I head up the hill. But as I crest the hill here, then I'll start to bring it over to the right. So for me now, I'm going to stop here, setting up for the entry to roller coaster. So you can see they do the number boards 2-1 turn. Excuse me. With the Cadillac, where I am braking, I tend to do this in I tend to do this in a 2-phase braking. I don't know if this is the right way to do it. It's just kind of the way I've been doing it. But for me, the braking is, again, it's kind of like the setup for Oak Tree. As I start to kind of go up the hill, now that I can see it, it's the 1 board. It's the 1 board for me, but it's usually that first, the first Motul sign I'm passing as I really truly get on the uphill, as it transitions back up the hill. So for me, the braking will be here. And the first phase of that braking is I'm going to start to brake, but I'm going to turn the car in at this point to the left. So I'm braking kind of across the track to this apex here on the inside. and I'll probably lift. I'll probably that'll be the first phase. It's just a quick brake to turn it in. I'll probably lift off the brake a little bit. I might even roll into the throttle. I don't know, maybe all the way, maybe part of the way, but it's usually just, brake, a little bit of maintenance throttle just to maintain momentum. The second phase of the braking is right as you crest this hill. Right as you get to the crest, you can see right where the pavement changes, from the repaving. Then here, this is about fifth gear. Brake, brake, brake again. This makes this braking a little bit easier down to third. Second, if you really need to, or if you're in traffic, this will probably be a second gear turn. On my own, I'll probably do it in third more often than not. But if you do second gear, you could probably short shift to third, just past the apex. Lights. I've been talking quite a long time. Down here, I'll probably short shift again to fourth. Again, watch the exit out here. Now, I tend to set up, and you can see from the repaving, it looks like a little bit more, the racing line was a little bit more to the inside. I tend to set up a little bit wider, and I use this green and yellow curbing here as kind of the reference turn-in for the hog pen. So I'll start to turn in here. This is about fourth gear. When I get to the inside curbing here, it's brake again. Now what I'm trying to do is, this is where hog pen's a challenge, because I don't want to. This car, especially with this car, I don't want to brake across and then crash the curbing on the inside. I actually want to try and brake down the hill just so that I miss that inside curbing, at least for me. So fourth gear, ideally, I might drop it to third just to help, again, put a little more weight in the nose to help the car turn in. I'll probably miss that curbing a bit. Once the car gets flat, sorry, I was hearing a vibration, but it's a weird vibration. I'm hearing a vibration with the wheel, but not in the wheel. Back it up a little bit. So what I'm trying to do, as I've almost discombobulated, is, I'll be in fourth gear here. I'll be feathering the throttle. Again, it's all about getting the line right on the way out. Probably as I get to the inside apex here, if I've done it right, I should be able to get back to full throttle, and maybe with just a little bit more steering, get the car out onto the front straight. That's going to be another challenge for me on the hard tire compound. I just won't have the lateral grip to really be aggressive on the throttle out. So, but that's a lap of VIR. And again, then when in doubt, just follow the new pavement all the way down to start finish. And that's a lap of VIR. So with that, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the stream real quick. So here ends the track guide portion of the stream. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go and set up a mock race, because I need to practice. If I'm really going to do this race without the braking line, I do want to practice with some traffic to kind of make sure I know what I'm doing, despite the fact that the AI is a bit random as far as brake checking and not being able to race each other closely. So let's see what happens. So give me a second here. Let me get out. Let me exit this. Let me go back to the event menu. And again, for technical reasons and staticky bitrate streaming upload, whatever issues that seem to be happening when you try to stream Twitch through the Series X, I'm just going to try and mitigate that as best I can. I'm just going to pause the stream to kind of reset that, and then we'll get back and we'll get into the mock race. So just bear with me 1 second. And now that I've resumed the live stream, I got to reset the mic again. Okay, hopefully we're back. Streaming, it's very easy to set up and stream. It's difficult to streaming well. I don't think I stream well, but I do what I can. But let's go ahead. We're going to get into the mock race. And I'm going to take a stab at the lap count. I didn't see that. It doesn't look like Matt's updated lap counts for VIR or Watkins, but based off lap times, let's see what we get here. Yeah, I'm going to completely reset up the circuit race here. And again, for your own practices, running laps and rivals is fine to help sort out. If you need to learn the track or you need to sort out what your tune's doing, it's a great way to baseline because it is static weather, it is static course conditions, but it really doesn't help you with the change conditions of the race, especially going from day to night. VIR, I would highly recommend practicing, setting up a free play race, or even just a test drive where you can practice that transition. Because if I set it up right, yeah, VIR, the lights come on quite late, and it does get quite dark before you can see again. But we're going to do a circuit race. I'll worry about that there. VIR, full number of laps. I think we are going to be doing 21 laps on Thursday. Starting time random. Progression rolling at 24 times. So that's about, we'll simulate a little over 12 hours worth of daytime, nighttime. Excuse me. We'll do random weather, but again, if it rains, I'm going to re-roll. Drive 8, designs on, number of drivatars, all the drivatars. Despite their flaws, I need the traffic. Cars is fine, rules, expert rules, nope, we're going to do custom. Because I just want fuel and tires only, because that's what we do in the race. Full penalty, I'll keep full penalty on, even though after the last update, it's the contact penalties. It's been a little more ticky-tack than the previous updates. Don't have to worry about disqualification or reline standing. We'll do random, but I'll probably drop to the back. We'll see where I start. And mandatory pit stops 1. And okay, so let's go ahead and do that. VIR. Tell us about the track, nice lady.
The Virginia International Raceway is one of the only venues where the full circuit hosts a race, while simultaneously a second race runs on a track inside the full circuit.
Oh, they must run the Patriot course. But I see raindrops. I don't like that. Overcast wet? No, we're going to re-roll. Event setup. But starting time of day, now I'm going to re-roll the time. Because noon, it'll put us into night. Reroll. No, I've already done. I ran some demo laps in dense fog at night, and it is not fun. So I'm gonna. See, I'm not smart enough to think about what I want to run for these track guides ahead of time. Oh, come on. Drizzle, really? I mean, light fog. I would take light fog. Patchy fog. Patchy fog would be fine. All right, mostly clear. That's fine. 2 p.m. So 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. So we're going to be racing into the night. So I think that's a good setup there. All right. So last couple of things for the car. Let me just go. So again, the tune I'm running, I'll share it after. Actually, let me just share it now really quick. So for the tune I'm running on the wheel, it is just whatever. When I pop the variables in, it is just whatever Forza Tune Pro gives me. So I don't spend a lot of time beyond that. The only things I would say are unique for me is that I do spend a little time on the gearing to kind of get the gearing where I think it needs to be. The other thing is, for the tune I'm going to be sharing, I'm running 140% brake pressure. I find that for how I brake, that I don't want to be jamming. I tend to be a gentle braker, so I'd rather have a little more brake pressure than most. And this car really seems to need it. For steering wheel, I do set the degree. Again, the Logitech G923. I don't have a setting, an individual setting on the wheel for degree of rotation. So it's all based off what the game is. So 60%, that's about 540 from a 900 full steering. So that seems to suit me best. That's what I tended to run in Forza 7. So let's go ahead and let's go setup manager. Let's do save and share. And will it let me save over? Oops. Drop the iPad. Okay. Okay, we'll just go ahead and share that one. VIR. Cool. And I always do circuit and circuit and novice, and I leave it at that. No, I'm not going to change the description, so I'll go ahead and share. We have to share our tunes. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and do this. Start race. I do run sport traction control because if I don't, then I'd be spending a lot more time spinning. So actually what I am going to do is I'm going to let all y'all by. Oh, we got some contact already happening. We're not even to turn one and the driver tires are taking themselves out. Oh, hang on. I was on the wrong tire. I need to be on the hards. Let me try this again. I was so set on like, oh, let me talk about the tune that's specific. So 100% hard, so I have to run hard tire. Now let's start race. Okay, it looks like it's starting me a little bit further back, but I'm still going to move over and let the guys behind me by. Okay, so the braking lap one, I can brake a little bit deeper since we're not going to be going as quick, but we'll still keep it third. And the hard tires take about 2 laps to get up to full temperature, so I just got to be a little bit cautious. And certainly being in traffic doesn't help get them up to temperature any quicker either. All right, how many cars are we going to see off on the left side here? Oh, none so far. Oh, there was one. Just don't know how to really commit heading up the hill. Nope, not going to do that. At least for me, at least the back of my mind right now is for this first half of the lap is just stay on course. You know, the first half of the lap is very difficult to try and set people up to pass. I'd rather than just keep 4 wheels on the track and the race begins here. Nice long back straightaway. See that draft. Goose. Go 3 wide? Almost. Oh!
Total time penalty is about 2.5 seconds.
Oh. All right, Forza, you tell me how I could have avoided that. Seriously, tell me how I could have avoided that. Well, you shouldn't have moved over. Well, Shouldn't have braked. Again, ticky-tack on the rules, and it just might be, you know, instead of doing expert FRR, drop it back to moderate. Thank you, Bruce. Brought him up, he's a little slow. Should have turned on the traction control. That's a drag race. He's back on. Good. There's probably a more aggressive way to just do that in a single braking down to third, but one of the founders of Forza. I think one of the founders of Forza. Long time Forza. One of the OGs. Oh, and he's a little loose. I can't take the crest of the hill flat. Whoa. Sorry, Jason. You do that. I think Brandon Mafia.
Total time penalty is about 6.5 seconds.
Yeah, Forza, you really need to work on. Hopefully, update 7, you can kind of address some of this, because I don't, again, it's the overtaking car's responsibility to do it safely. It's not like he was alongside and I ran into him. He stuck his nose in, or he shouldn't have. A little bit shallow getting in there. Thank God I did not turn on FRR disqualification, because I forget what the limit is set at, but oh no, come on. A little slow. Can you keep it together through hog pan? You can. That was a horrible exit by me. I'm not really going to be able to get the draft here. Oh, maybe I will. Let's take a look. Nice recovery. That's about the best I've taken though. Yeah, I don't think running into him would have been all that useful. Let's see if I can get a good exit here. And the answer is no. But I should be close enough to get a little bit of a draft. So at this point, I don't know that I'm going to be able to set up a pass into the roller coaster, so it's just stick with him enough. Maybe get something on the front straight. No, I didn't get a good enough exit there. I'll take a look, but I'm not going to be able to really do anything here. The sun's starting to get low. The track's getting real shiny there. Got a little bit of a draft, but I want to give a little space heading up to the S's in case he has to check out, which he does. Okay, Jason. All right, I'm a little bit closer now. That 2/10 up. Should be able to get a good draft in the roller coaster, though it would surprise me if he tries to stick with me on the right side here. And I totally clutch the braking and go off. Not the most effective way to pass going into a roller coaster, but probably just got on the brakes either a little too late, or I probably should have applied a little more pressure. This is why we practice. Oh god, yeah, that sun's gonna be... You know, the funny thing is that sun's gonna be horrible going up the S's. As soon as I turned in, I knew. As soon as I turned in, like, nope, it's too shallow, too high. Off slightly, Cotter's going wide. Excuse me, pardon me. I'll be on the inside, don't hit me. maybe second gear is better through there, even though it's a little high in the rev range. At least it seems to get some weight on the nose to get a turn. Push. I'm gonna pit about. I'm not about. I'm gonna pit at the end of lap. I'm gonna pit at the end of lap 11. Now the lights come on. Alright, so I wonder why. So I did a practice race last night and it got really dark before the lights came on. I can't remember what the weather condition was like. It wasn't foggy, so I know that wasn't the issue, but it kind of was, to me, very surprising how late the lights came on. So we might get another shot here. Yeah, I'm gonna try it. Need to be able to practice that. Nice run down the front straight. Alright, I'll let you have the inside, I'll take the outside. Yeah, that's the danger I have with the shallower line. Is someone that's on the normal line won't see me. Shall we try it? Yeah, let's try it. It's only practice. Besides, you got something anyway. On the outside.
Total time penalty is about 7 seconds.
Let's go for 10. And the nice thing about doing the live stream like this is I'll actually go back and take a quick look at, take a look at the incidents. But again, it's a couple of them. It's like, what do you want me to do? Feet out. You know what? I'm just gonna pit now. After that, I just pit. Yeah, it just got a little too wide out in the approach to hog pen. So even with traction control, and I'm not running stability control, but even with sport traction control, it is entirely possible to get the car to lose control. So exiting the pits, just keep it to the right, second Michelin board on the right side is a good reference point as far as, floor it on the way out, just brake at that point, and it should be able to get you stopped for for turn 1 or the horseshoe. Oh, almost went off trying to get... I'm going to get a penalty for that one. Oh, no. Okay. And I go wide here, so I'm just getting the car slowed down. Yeah, that one's on me. I was trying to get it slowed down, I just didn't get it slowed down enough. Now that one was at probably a cold tire, combination of cold tires and just not, should have lifted at the top of the road to get the car through there. I thought I missed my braking. Never change. Driver tires never change. It's getting quite dark now. I tend to prefer that shallower line through there. Don't know if it's faster, but it's the line I like. Yeah, I'm late. And I don't know if that might just... I'm late for that final turn in. That just might be just, I don't know, again, it's probably mostly me, as far as just not seeing the turn in as well at night. Much colder. Get the car stopped. And I'm just gonna... Didn't get a chance to really check the map to see if there was anybody close. That's why I kept it to the right side until I could get up to speed. Second gear might be the way to go there. Again, the car just seems to like to turn in a little bit easier. Yeah, and as I'm kind of getting into rhythm, I'm playing around with track limits, and I'm finding out just that, yeah, I need to leave myself some room. that left-hander is definitely, for me, it's a rhythm. Like, it's brake, downshift, turn. So for me, there's a cadence to that as far as when I'm turning in. It's not so much I'm turning in at this point. It's brake, downshift, turn. Getting the car slowed down enough. Leave room. Leave room. A little bit of a lockup. As soon as I hit the brakes, I knew. Again, it's just like I carried a little too far over the left side and didn't give myself enough room to keep the tires on the pavement. Hi, Max. Okay, that's just bonehead on my part. This is not how I wanted this race to turn out. Finally figuring this one out. I don't know if it's just I'm not braking hard enough, or braking too late, or it's just, again, it is just the cooler track conditions. Just I'm not getting the car slowed down efficiently. Reset, so we got a few laps left. Get back to just discipline. Take your marks. turn-in is about, like, if you needed a reference point for the turn-in at night, it is about where that Musco lighting is on the inside. Should put it in a second. Here comes Max Performa. Gonna hit me this time? Late with the turn in. Alright, well, I can't finish any further back. Break. I think the cold temps, or I just can't get the car slowed down because tire wear is not that bad. In late. Using focus. See if I can stitch two good clean laps together. Oh, that's a fail. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong there anymore. Either it's kind of like, all right, it's like, why did I go off there? Why is I'm not braking enough? I'm gonna have to at least do that one more time. A few of these turns I just can't see. That's the leader. I'm not finishing a lap down, despite how badly I'm doing. Wait, this is really dangerous because he's already finished. So the driver tires have no... It's not the semi-intelligent driver tires, it's the completely post-race stupid driver tires that have no regard for traffic. Yeah, so definitely need to brush up on my night driving with this car. But that's VIR. Well, okay. 149, and yeah, they're running. Yeah, I'm running. I'm definitely was the slow car on track anyway. But so that's VIR, and let's see, at 37 minutes, it might be like 19 laps, maybe 20. But that's VIR in this Cadillac V-Series. I definitely would practice at night, just to pick up your braking points and what you're looking for there. Hey, I reached 442. All right, so with that, I'm going to call this particular track guide. I'm going to bring this one to a close. I'm going to take a little bit of a break and then come back and we'll do the second track guide at Watkins Glen. So that of the two, that one I'm looking forward to more than VIR, just because VIR, especially when it gets dark, is going to be a tough track. So hope you guys are having a great Easter Sunday. Have a good weekend, the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you on Thursday night. Happy racing.